Guys, this one, I was kind of on the fence whether or not I was going to discuss and talk about this one. Here's my disclaimer I want to put out really quick at the top of the video. I am not here to promote this particular person, nor am I here to diss the person. My whole point in doing this video is to try and shed some light on some things. And so what do I mean by that? This for me is not per se about the person and their career, so forth and so on. It is simply about this one specific message, okay? Now, have there been other messages that have went forth? I'm not exactly certain because I haven't done all of the research. I just done some of the research on this one particular thing, okay? So hold tight. Have something to show you. When you get through looking at it, I'll be back. Again. Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam, aka the house N-word, like he played in Django. Samuel L. Jackson wanting Kendrick to play the game that they want us to play and not to be ghetto. The game staged, which symbolizes the rich killing the poor, the dancers in red and white blue representing the American flag, the stage also being a prison yard where black performers harmonized while he rapped, protecting black women like Serena Williams after the disrespect from Drake, and once again reminding Drake and America they not like us. I'm back. So now that you've watched it, right? It was pictures, and the reason why it was pictures, if I would have uploaded the entire video, of course, it has the lyrics and it would have been copyright issues, right? So I couldn't do the entire video. So I did it the way that I felt would be best. So you had an opportunity to look at the pictures. Now, here's what I will suggest. After all of this is over, right here on YouTube, just put in the search engine halftime show 2025. And I think it's like a 13-minute video, and you'll be able to see the entire video. So why did I take the time to show those clips and to provide the information that I provided? Here's why. A lot of people are not aware, and for whatever the reason may be, they're not paying attention to that this year, this era, this hour, this instance, okay? However you want to say it, whatever your vocabulary choice of words, okay? It all boils down to this. This is the year of revealing. This is the year of exposing. We're in a time where things that were hidden, okay, are being exposed, being uncovered, like light is shining on all of those things that were hidden, okay? What happens when light is shining on things that are hidden? It means that they can no longer have the power and the control over you the way that it did before, okay? So it's no different than this. And I use this instance whenever I'm teaching about people who are evil doing ungodly, demonic things to people. And I teach a segment on how I explain once it's uncovered and the power being diminished and so forth and so on. So I'm going to use the same information, okay? And what I'm saying is this. This is what I'm saying. I don't want to lose anybody. But this is what I'm saying. If you have ever experienced in your house, somebody else's house, place of employment, whatever the case may be, you know, some people try to act great and wonderful like they've never had roaches, or they never went to visit somebody who had roaches, okay, or rodents, right? What happens is, as long as it's dark, they are moving and out in the open, and they just some big bad jokers, and they just are all in your kitchen having a good time, right? And what happens is, the moment somebody turns on a light, they were boldly in the dark doing whatever it is that they felt they was bad enough to do, right? Why? Because they were not exposed. So when you turn on the light, the rodents, the roaches, or whatever is in there, right? It begins to run. It's like it's a big disarray. There's no order. They just running, trying to take cover and trying to hide and get away from you, right? Because once something is exposed, right, you're kind of caught off guard. And you don't really know how to react. You don't really know what to do because you're caught off guard. You're revealed. So we're in the hour where things are being exposed and uncovered. Now, here's the deal. We have so many people who would live in a home, and if it's more than one person, you would hear one person ask the other person, "Did you hear that?" And the person would say, "No, I didn't hear that." And then the person may say, "Well, I heard that, and I know it sounds like that's a mouse. I know that's a mouse." Okay? Or I heard that, I know it sounds like it's a cricket. And the other person, "No, I didn't hear anything." And it kind of goes back and forth for a while. Okay? Then eventually either one of them or both will get up to go see what it is going on with the noise. And as soon as they turn on the light, the one who was able to recognize and hear from the very onset as to what was going on immediately turns to the other person and tell them, "Didn't I tell you that's what was going on? I knew it was a mouse in here. I knew it was a cricket in here. I knew it was such and such and such in here. And here's the evidence that something was in here." Okay? And so with that being said, at that moment, both individuals are what? They're in the know. They are aware. And as the young people say, they are woke. Right? But here's the difference that people miss all the time. The one who was woke, or the one who knew prior to, was the one who was considered what? Weird, crazy, something's wrong with you. What's your problem? Okay? So, in reference to what we're talking about now, it would be misunderstood. Okay? So, the person has to be misunderstood. Why is the person misunderstood? Because the majority of the people are not aware and paying attention and don't get it. So what people have a tendency to do is, the small group of people who are rare and unique and have something special about them, when they come forth and say things, they're often criticized. Okay? And in their private time, they have to regroup, okay, and gain strength, okay, and comfort from God to continue in that what it is that He has told them to do, because the mass majority are not going to understand. So here's what I want to say. I hope that analogy made sense to everybody. I kept it as simple as I could without going too deep to lose anybody. And as I stated, if you don't have rodents or roaches or never had them, maybe your cousin pooking them or June bugging them when you went over there to their house, or place of business or warehouse where you worked at. So at some instance, you've experienced that. Let's just be honest, okay? So here's what I want to say. I don't know uh, Lamar personally, but as I watched the Super Bowl, I listened to some of the lyrics. Now, here's what I will say. I was doing some different things, and when I say doing some different things, you guys know who were paying attention. I was so super excited for the Eagles uh, as a whole, Hurts and Devontae, but just as a whole. And so, Godly proud it being Black History Month and two black quarterbacks. Okay, what a blessing. And so, of course, I was doing some things and having some emotions. So I was kind of like, I felt joy, and then I felt proud and like, oh wow, this is so nice. And then I was posting, as many of you were able to see. Well, one of the posts I made reference to him, right? And a lot of people came under that and made comments. And so what I said on my post, if you go back and look, I said, he said he was prophetic. So that caught my attention. That word alone caught my attention when he said it. So he's rapping and he said, I am prophetic. Now, I don't know if that was something he added in or if it was a part of the lyrics. I'm not exactly certain, but it made me kind of go digging and look into who this guy was, right? So when I began to do that, I did it a little last night, and then this morning I received an overwhelming number of notifications from people who were giving and telling me information about him because they saw my reel and saw that I didn't really know a lot about him, right? So my thing is this. If he has come in this instance, now I don't want anybody to be misguided or to say something that I said that I didn't say. I'm speaking specifically about Super Bowl 25 and the message from the show. That's all I'm speaking of. Whatever else he's doing or he has going on, I will have to do my research and look and discern his spirit and hear from God via the Holy Spirit to be able to give any other information, whether it's good or bad. Okay? So I'm not here, okay, to speak on who he is per se as a whole. I'm here to speak on Super Bowl Sunday 25 halftime show that this young man, this male, had a message where he was revealing. So he was the person in the house that kept telling the other person, hey, I hear rodents. I hear a mouse. I know that I hear a mouse. Do you hear that? And then the other person was like, no, I don't hear it. So nobody else heard it. But he kept saying, I hear rodents. I hear something. Something's not right. And so until he got the other person and they got together and went to the place where the rodent sounds were, then this is when the belief settled in. Okay? Now here's what I want to say to all of my people who wanted other people to perform. I'm not even going to say those people names. I'm just simply going to say there are people who were from the city, okay? One in particular, most people wanted to hear. And then it's like, okay, there's a whole lot of other rappers or singers or whatever that's from New Orleans, Louisiana as well, who could have performed. So everybody wanted to see that, right? So here's what I want to say, and this statement here may get me in trouble, but it's okay. Because just like this young man, I too live this type of life where I go and say things that other people aren't readily able to accept, and in some cases don't want to accept it until they see it for themselves, and then they get it. So I know how this goes. So it's okay, but I'm going to say it anyway. If These other people who everybody is saying would have performed, right? Would it not have placed us, I'm talking about the people who look like me, would it not have placed us in the same category, the same place that we are typically in? Now, I don't care if you twerk, know how to twerk, or do any other type of dance that you enjoy. It's your body. You're grown enough to do what you want to do with your body. Nobody can tell you what to do with your body, and that's not why I'm here. But I will say this. Had these other people performed, they would have performed intoxicated or high. The women would have been twerking and jumping around with majority of their body exposed. Okay? And lyrics of saying things that criticize us as a race, okay, and just doing these things that we have done for so long that really makes no sense, and nobody is brave enough to step up and say it. You know why? Because people don't like controversy, people don't like debates. But here's what I've always believed, okay? Any of my close friends or family members will tell you that I'm good with the debate. I'm good with the fact that I may feel this way and you may feel that way. We've talked about it, debated, discussed it. You have your viewpoint, I have my viewpoint. We disagree, but we can part ways and to agree. And we still cool. You know why? Because that's your opinion. You're entitled to. We do not gain anything, okay, from the way that things were, that the way that things used to be. You know, wanting certain type of entertainment, women bodies exposed, okay, all of the just it's entertainment, right? So to just complete my thought and to just wrap all of this up, to ensure that I am doing what it is that I feel obligated to do, and that is to come and speak to all of this. Guys, we can be entertained anywhere. The fact that this man would use an opportunity as big as Super Bowl halftime performance to try and speak to his people, okay? And I'm going to reiterate this again. I don't know anything else about what he's done. He could be the best person in the world, or he could be the worst person in the world. I haven't done my research, so I don't know. I'm specifically speaking to the halftime show. He wanted to send a message to his people. He's trying to wake people up who are asleep. Now, here's the deal. If you are sleeping and you really do not know what's going on, okay, he was trying to inform you. For those of you who are not sleeping and you're woke and you know what's going on, his performance was to let you know, hey, we in agreement. We on the same page. Yes, you're correct. This is confirmation. This is what's going on. And so he did it in such an intelligent way, right? He wasn't dressed inappropriately. It's like, we have to get this. What is it going to take? When we have somebody to come and perform, and then you have some people who say things like, well, he could have done this, he could have done that, he could have done this. That's your opinion. Everything I'm saying now, somebody would view it as opinion. And you may completely say she's totally wrong, Or you may say, I'm not exactly sure if that's right. Or you may say it is right and you agree. That's the beauty of debate and discussion and having one's own opinion. That's why it's your opinion, right? But it's a sad day when we have somebody to come and give something of this caliber and they be talked about in such a manner that I feel like it's just so wrong. Because here's the deal. I'll be the first to admit when he came on, I was doing other things and wasn't quite following. I can admit that. Please, please go do your own research as it relates to the information that was given during the Super Bowl halftime. If nobody shines the light on the rodents, on the roaches, and on the things that are hidden, and we just all keep listening to the sounds and we never get up to go look and see, okay, where does that leave us? Okay? I don't know any more that can be done than what's currently being done. I'll leave you with a question. What do you think about the people who have things to say just as he has said, but they won't come forth and will not say much because of the rejection and the negative that they're going to receive? So they stay hidden and stay in the backdrop and only share it with their circles, small circles of people, because if they come out too broad, they're going to be rejected. Because he's definitely being rejected. And here's the thing, I don't care what no one says. Is he being received in some regard? He is, but it's mostly, okay, a rejection. He's mostly being rejected. We can't pretend like we know everything. Okay? There were some things that I did not catch as I looked up on halftime. I admitted I was doing other things. I was not totally paying attention and focused. But when I went back and looked, rewind, and looked, I caught it. I got it. Along with the information that was being sent to me as I read. What more is God or people who are working to reveal and give information that's hidden? What more is supposed to be done? Like, you aren't tired of looking at people half naked and twerking? You aren't tired of looking at people high and rapping and intoxicated? I take nothing from any individual, okay, who would come forth and rap, who would come forth and sing, who would come forth and speak poetry, R&B, gospel, regardless as to what it is. I take nothing from those individuals because that's a gift, it's a talent, and all our gifts come from God. I take nothing from them. But at the same time, I have to take a step back and I have to say, okay, let me look at the bigger picture. Let's look at the big picture of this. Let's look at it. Would we have rather to have somebody rapping in front of us and women around half naked and they're rapping and singing and doing things that appease our flesh? What this individual did, he made you think. What he did had nothing to do with the flesh. It's something about our flesh that We want to please it. Isn't this why so many people get in trouble with God and sinning? It The flesh talks to you. The flesh tells you, I want more sex. I know you done had sex with your spouse, but I want more. And so you go cheat with somebody. Okay? You overindulge in drinking. Okay? You overindulge in smoking or getting high. So forth and so on. Why? Pleasing your flesh. Our flesh likes to be pleased. So it was no different than last night for halftime. The flesh wanted to be pleased, and for those who had a problem with their flesh being pleased, okay, it's like it was an issue. But there was a challenge last night to think. It was a challenge to, okay, like, wait, hold up a minute. He said what? Wait, hold up a minute. What? Wait a minute. What is he saying? Your flesh was out of the equation. It was strictly brains and thinking. That's all it was about. And so I say this. Do y'all know anything that the devil will do, attempt to do, or try to do? God can either stop it or he can allow it. He's God. He does what he wants. He's in total control. So I would say this. Why did God allow that to happen? Why did he allow that? Why is he allowing everything that has been hidden and everything that is exposed now? Why is he allowing this? What's really going on? Y'all don't come for me too bad for those of you who will say, why did she do the video today on this? And who does she think she is? Like you could have talked about anything. And I don't agree with you. It's okay. I don't have a problem with any comment that you would give. I promise I'm not going to delete if you disagree with me. Okay? That's the beauty of being unique and having your own opinion. Again, I hope that this helps somebody in some way. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I want to really hear from you guys. Let's talk about this.